If you miss these signs, you might walk away while she's begging you with her body language. Most men have no idea when a woman is silently screaming, "Take me now." You've been there. You're chilling with her, the energy's hot, the tension thick. And what do? You leave, scratching your head, thinking, was she into me, or was I imagining things? Let me be clear. She was waiting for you to make a move. She laid the groundwork, and you failed to build upon it. This isn't about mind reading, gentlemen. This is about observation, about understanding the subtle yet powerful language women use when they're interested. It's a language many of you were never taught, and it's costing you opportunities. You're leaving interactions on the table, not because she wasn't interested, but because you were too blind, too hesitant, or too caught up in your own head to see the signals she was throwing your way. Today, I'm breaking down 10 critical signs she wants to sleep with you. Right now. Let's begin. All right, let's get straight to it. Sign number 1. She touches herself while looking at you. Before your mind goes directly into the gutter, let me clarify. I'm not talking about anything overt or vulgar. I mean when she's constantly, almost unconsciously, playing with her necklace, letting her fingers trace its chain. Or she's biting her lower lip, a classic tell, drawing your eyes to her mouth. Maybe she's stroking her own hair, slowly, thoughtfully, or even rubbing her arms or thighs as if she's cold, even when the room is perfectly warm. These are not random fidgety movements, gentlemen. These are subconscious signals, deeply ingrained. She's trying to draw your attention to her physical form, to her femininity, to the very parts of her she might be imagining you touching. Her body is communicating what her words might not yet be ready to say. Your move, champ. Next up, sign number 2. She finds, or more accurately, excuses to be alone with you. This isn't about her genuinely needing your assistance with every minor inconvenience in her life. This is strategic. If a woman is consistently maneuvering situations so that it's just the two of you, especially in private or intimate settings, or at unusual hours, you need to pay very close attention. She's not just friendly or needy, she's actively curating an environment where something can happen. She's removing obstacles, including other people. If she's always inviting you over late, suggesting one more drink at her place instead of yours, or asking for help with random, often trivial, things that conveniently require your presence in her personal space. She's testing your perception. She's testing if you'll take the hint. She's creating a vacuum and waiting for you to fill it. These aren't coincidences. They are calculated moves. She wants to see if you're man enough or aware enough to understand the subtext. Your job is to recognize the pattern and respond with confident action, not clueless hesitation. Sign number 3. She keeps getting closer to you, physically closer. This is a fundamental, almost primal indicator of attraction that so many men either miss or misinterpret as accidental. Let me be unequivocal. If she starts consciously and consistently decreasing the physical space between you, she's not doing it on accident. Proximity is attraction's most reliable wingman. She is quite literally moving into your orbit because she wants to be there. And she wants you to notice and ideally reciprocate or escalate. Think about the dynamics. You're at a table and she shifts her chair closer, not away. You're standing in a group and she positions herself next to you. Perhaps her arm brushes yours. When she laughs at something you said, she leans in, invading your personal space in a way that feels intimate, not intrusive. These are deliberate, albeit sometimes subconscious, moves designed to signal comfort, interest, and a desire for greater intimacy. Read the signal, gentlemen, and act with the confidence her actions are trying to inspire in you. Sign number 4. She starts asking bold, flirty questions. We're moving beyond polite small talk here, gentlemen. When a woman's inquiries take a turn towards the personal, the suggestive, or the downright provocative, she's not just making conversation, she's fishing. She's probing for information, yes, but she's also testing your confidence, your boundaries, and gauging your potential as a romantic or sexual partner. These questions are designed to escalate the interaction and signal her own interest in a more intimate connection. She might ask things like, "So what's your type?" Or, "Are you a good cuddler?" Or she might get more direct. "Do you sleep shirtless, or do you prefer pajamas?" The subtext, the unspoken translation of many of these questions, often boils down to, "Are you available? Are you experienced? Would you be good in bed? Are you someone I can see myself getting physical with?" She's trying to build a mental picture, and she's inviting you to help paint it. So when these bold, flirty questions come your way, recognize them for what they are: indicators of escalating interest and a test of your character. Your answers should be confident, playful, and perhaps a little mysterious. Don't give one-word answers, but don't write a dissertation either. This is her way of opening the door to a more sexually charged conversation, to see if you're willing and able to walk through it with her. Sign number 5 is all about the auditory cues. Her voice gets soft and sultry. This is a subtle one, gentlemen, but incredibly potent. When a woman is genuinely interested in you on a more intimate level, you'll often notice a distinct shift in her vocal tonality when she's speaking directly to you, especially in a more private setting. Instead, her tone often drops in pitch, becomes slower, more measured, and carries a certain breathiness or warmth that wasn't there in her more casual public conversation. This change in vocal delivery is largely subconscious, an instinctive way women use their voice to build sexual tension and create a more intimate atmosphere. It's as if she's drawing you into a private auditory space, making the conversation feel more exclusive and personal. The softer volume compels you to lean in closer to hear her, further reducing the physical distance between you. The slower pace gives her words more weight, more allure, and allows for those charged pauses that can speak volumes. It's a very feminine way of signaling attraction and creating a seductive ambiance. So, pay attention not just to what she says, but how she says it. Is there a noticeable drop in pitch? Is her speech more deliberate, softer, almost like she's sharing a secret? It's a green light, softly spoken. Sign number 6 is a fascinating one, deeply rooted in primal psychology. She mirrors you. This is when she subconsciously, or sometimes consciously, starts to mimic your body language, your gestures, even your speech patterns or energy levels. You cross your legs, and a moment later she crosses hers in the same direction. You lean in conspiratorially, and she leans in too. You take a sip of your drink, she reaches for hers. You use a particular turn of phrase, and later, you hear her use it. This isn't her being a copycat. This is a powerful, often unconscious sign of rapport and connection. Mirroring is a natural human behavior that occurs when people feel a strong connection or are trying to build one. It's a way of saying, "I'm like you, I understand you, we're in sync." In the context of attraction, it's a very strong indicator that she feels comfortable and engaged with you. It signifies that she's paying close attention, not just to your words, but to your entire being. If you notice this happening consistently, it's a very positive sign. She's showing you through her body that she's on your wavelength. Now for sign number 7, the one I mentioned earlier that most guys completely fumble. She makes bedroom comments casually. And I emphasize, she's not going to be crude or overly explicit, not usually. Instead, she'll drop subtle hints, little verbal breadcrumbs related to intimacy, cuddling, sleep preferences, or her bed, often framed as innocent observations or general statements. She's not just writing a bedtime poem for her diary, gentlemen. She's strategically planting seeds and checking if you'll catch on, if you're astute enough to read between the lines. She might say things like, "Oh, I love cuddling, it's the best," perhaps after a comment about a movie scene or a pet. Or, my bed is so comfortable, but I sleep so much better when I'm not alone. Sometimes it's even more direct, like, I just bought these amazing new sheets, they feel incredible. These aren't random musings about her domestic life. These are calculated trial balloons, sent up to gauge your reaction and to steer the conversation and your thoughts towards a more intimate setting. The key here is to recognize the underlying intent. She's making herself vulnerable in a way by broaching a topic that's inherently intimate. She's giving you an opening, a soft pitch. Sign number 8. She keeps touching you, and I'm not talking about accidental bumps in a crowded room. I mean deliberate, often fleeting, but significant physical contact. She might lightly touch your arm or shoulder when she's making a point or laughing at your joke. She could accidentally brush her hand against yours when reaching for something. Perhaps she fixes your collar, straightens your tie, or brushes a non-existent piece of lint off your jacket. Or when she hands you something, her fingers linger against yours for just a second longer than necessary. These touches, however small, are powerful. They serve multiple purposes. Firstly, they break the physical barrier, making subsequent, more intimate touch feel more natural and less abrupt. Secondly, they are a way for her to gauge your reaction. She's testing your masculinity, your comfort with physical closeness. Sign number 9 is a classic, yet often misinterpreted signal. She doesn't want the night to end. You've had a great time, the energy is right, but it's getting late. You say something like, all right, well, I should probably head out now. And instead of a simple, okay, good night, she hits you with something like, oh, already? Are you sure? You could stay a little longer if you want. Or, what's your hurry? Gentlemen, that's not just a polite offer. That's a green light. A very bright green light. She's explicitly telling you she enjoys your company so much that she's willing to postpone sleep, responsibilities, or whatever else, just to keep you around. This reluctance to let the interaction conclude is a powerful indicator of her interest, especially if it's late and the setting is becoming more private. She's creating an opportunity, a window for things to progress further. She's essentially saying, I'm not ready for this to be over, and I'm hoping you feel the same way, and I'm hoping you'll do something about it. It's a verbal cue that she's open to the night taking a more intimate turn. So when she tries to extend the evening, don't just brush it off with, no, really, I have an early start. At least acknowledge her desire for you to stay. She's done her part by expressing her desire for you to remain. Now the onus is on you to understand why and act accordingly. Finally, sign number 10. Perhaps the most powerful and unmistakable signal of them all. She gives you the look. This isn't just casual eye contact. This is a deep, lingering gaze, often accompanied by subtle but significant facial cues. Her eyes lock onto yours, and there's an intensity, a softness, a vulnerability there that transcends words. Her lips might part slightly, almost imperceptibly. Her breathing might slow down or become a little more shallow. It's a look that doesn't need a translator. It says, with absolute clarity, if you kissed me right now, I wouldn't stop you. In fact, I want you to. This look often occurs during a pause in conversation, a moment of quiet intensity where the unspoken energy between you becomes palpable. It's a moment where the masks drop and raw attraction is laid bare. Her eyes might dart down to your lips and then back to your eyes. It's a silent confession of her desire. So, you've seen the signs. You've learned to recognize the subtle and not so subtle ways a woman communicates her interest, her desire for you to take things to the next level. The question that naturally follows is, what do you do when she gives these signs? The answer is deceptively simple, yet profoundly misunderstood by many. You don't ask for a committee vote. You don't poll your friends. You don't say, so, are you like, into me? No. You lead. Confidently, respectfully, slowly. You build upon the tension she has helped create. If she responds positively to your advance, you keep going.